Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is June the 28th, 2020. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Apex predator, one day closer to an all-time high. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. I'm offended by selling. Okay, this is where the big boys play. Hello, my elite friends. I'm in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina on this Sunday afternoon. How are you all doing? If you have questions, I have answers. Type in Bitcoin Meister, do a super chat. I can answer your questions. I love doing that. Remember, yesterday, Beyond Bitcoin Show on the backup channel. Subscribe to the backup channel right now. Apparently, a few of you still don't know about the backup channel. Just in the chat right now. Guys, you cannot rely on the YouTube algorithm to tell you what to watch, okay? If you're relying on getting notifications from YouTube, you're in bad shape. So again, disruptmeister.com, all my shows, over 1,700 shows, techbalt.com, TECHBALT on Twitter. That's really where you should be. You can use your head there and actually understand what's going on and learn some things. All right. So, and again, yesterday's Beyond Bitcoin show was great. This week in Bitcoin was awesome with Andy Hoffman and Mauricio and Gabriel in Chile. So it's all linked to below, please. I just don't say, when I'm saying check out the links below, I'm not just saying that for the heck of it. I actually want you to click on those links, okay? Include everything I talk about in this video, all the subject matters are linked to below. So click them up. That's part of the show. That's part of the listening comprehension. Then you have reading comprehension, okay? Then you understand what's really going on and your hand gets stronger and you're not tempted to sell. Pound that like button. All right. Now I wanted to say, I saw on Twitter, because I check Tone Vays every day on Twitter, and I see he's in Porcupine Fest. Is that what they call Porcupine Freedom Fest in New Hampshire? And he's got a picture of them hanging out at the table. I think they were gambling, playing cards, whatever they're doing up there. But it is great to see the PorcFest really had a festival. They didn't try to do it online. They weren't scared of people getting sick or anything like that. No, they had the real thing in New Hampshire. Great job. I admire you dudes, PorcFest, for being, well, just being normal, not being a scaredy cat and hiding and trying to, we're going to have it online this year, okay? No, they had it for real. They were there. And the people there with Tone, they weren't scared. They were next to each other. They were touching each other. Oh, my God, you touched a human. What's going on? So good job, PorcFest, leading by example. Wanted to point that out. Good job, Tone Vays. Follow him on Twitter. It's all linked to below. Now, and hey, remember on Thursday, I said, hey, guys, get ready for Bitcoin to drop below $9,000 because of the futures expiration or whatever the heck was expiring, the nonsense, the financialization nonsense that was expiring. Well, it did drop below 9,000, but it probably wasn't because of that. But did you even notice? Weren't you busy enjoying your life on Saturday? Okay, and now it's back over $9,000. It shouldn't matter. You should know by now, after the halving, it gets into this little boring period, 8,000, 9,000, whatever. Dude, get ready for 2021. We're going to talk about 2021 at the end of the show. And so, yeah, if you got freaked out by it being under 9,000, I mean, I guess you're a newbie or something. You haven't watched the show before. I don't know. But yeah, it did. Yeah, so no shocking, or it shouldn't have affected you in any darn way. It's not the end of the world. Okay, 5-digit realm. Pound that like button. Now, so that was that's crypto noise. When you're like, oh, is it 8,000? Is it 9,000? It's total nonsense. Yet most 80% of the stuff that's out there in video form and in tweets, it's just people obsessed with that kind of stuff, and people eat that stuff up. That's why they're 80%ers, and they go with the flow, whatever. Hey, be a unique beast. If you're a unique beast, you're not worried about $9,000, $8,000. Now, I want to warn you about some more crypto noise coming up. It's Peter Schiff-related crypto noise. I have heard that Peter Schiff will appear on the Joe Rogan show in July. And if he does that, there's a chance that he brings up Bitcoin. Now, if he brings up Bitcoin on his own without being asked by Joe Rogan about it, then the man is like really obsessed with Bitcoin. But he might just do that, and Joe Rogan might ask him about Bitcoin. So whatever happens, if Bitcoin comes out of his mouth, it's going to be negative, okay? And a lot of people are going to hear about it. So a lot of people are going to be worried about it. It's nothing to worry about. It's actually free marketing for Bitcoin. But I just want you guys to prepare. It looks like Schiff will be on the Joe Rogan show in July. I could be wrong about that. And just be prepared for FUD surrounding Bitcoin. And Joe Rogan could say something ignorant too, and just to make Peter Schiff happy, trying to get along with the guests. Yeah, I don't like Bitcoin either. Hey, Joe Rogan's a good dude though. I appreciate that he has this. I appreciate that he's moving to Spotify and he's competing with YouTube. And of course, at sportsmeister.com, you can listen to the podcast version of this show. Some of you are doing this right now. It's on Spotify. It's on everything. Okay. Now, Matt Odell tweets out about Square Crypto. Okay, Square Crypto grants. You've heard about that before. Their own Square Crypto is owned by Jack Dorsey, who at times can be, who at times definitely tries to fit in on Twitter with some of his policies. But here's something that's a totally opposite of fitting in. And Matt Odell says, a public regulated financial company providing a grant towards better Bitcoin privacy is a big deal. And so what's he talking about? Square Crypto, our next grant recipient needs no introduction. Grant number 12 goes to CoinSwap from Chris Belcher, one of the primary developers of CoinJoins. If you don't know what those are, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, he's giving money to people who work on CoinJoins. And of course, the government is no fan of CoinJoins from what I've heard. And they're publicly, he's under a lot of scrutiny, Jack Dorsey here, okay? He's a publicly regulated company, a public regulated financial company, okay? That's what he is, all right? He's part of. And so, I don't know, maybe it's definitely a big deal that someone involved in such a company is giving money to a coin joiner here. But it might just show how ignorant the government is. And then he might just know that they're just not going to care, that they don't even know, they're not monitoring him that closely, or I don't know. It seems like a bold move that he's kind of slapping the government in the face there. And at the same time, he's with some things on Twitter, he can be such a, here's what this really means. Fact checked. He could be a fact checker on Twitter, but then he could be funding CoinJoin stuff. Okay, he's an interesting dude. That's news. So speaking of private Bitcoin, and Titan Boss says, I buy Bitcoin weekly, no matter the price. Yes, dude. That's great. Dollar cost average. All right, dudes. Ask your questions over there. There's plenty of you in the chat. I see you're talking back and forth. Get those questions out there. But let's talk more about privacy real quick. This is someone who said this. Bitcoin Q&A said, I just published 10 tips for interacting with Bitcoin more privately. I walk through the steps you can implement to improve your privacy when interacting with the Bitcoin network. Okay, they're good. They're 10 good steps. But one of them I hadn't really talked about before. And privacy reminder step 8, transact off-chain. Just like with physical cash, moving Bitcoin off-chain is much less traceable. There are two main options when transacting away from the Bitcoin base layer. Use OpenDime, a USB stick made by CoinKite that allows you to transact Bitcoin in the same way you would a dollar bill by physically handing it from one person to the next. So I've had Novak on my show before, Rodolfo Novak on my show before, the guy behind OpenDime, and he's shown it before. But that is something you guys can do. If people ask me, What are some private ways to buy Bitcoin? Find a dude that has an open dime with $100 of Bitcoin on it, okay? Or get someone to put $100 worth of Bitcoin on an open dime. He comes over, you meet him, he shows you, puts the open dime into the computer, you see what's on there, and then, hey, there you go. You buy it from him. You give him $100. That's it. I like that. I never really thought about that before. Just putting it out there. Yeah, you're always reading these articles, reading about Bitcoin every single day. Sometimes you're reminded about something that you don't think about very much. So there you go. Now, some mainstream news. And this was a flashback to October 30th of this year when Bank of America was having a similar problem. Back in October 30th, and that video is linked below, it was when I was in Adelaide, Australia, Bank of America customers were having difficulty accessing their accounts online. And they were panicking. They were very worried. And of course, I said then, with Bitcoin, this doesn't happen. You can access your account and know how much your address, you can see right there. Hey, I've got my 2 Bitcoin there. Or since this is the One Bitcoin Show, get that 1 Bitcoin first. Remember, that's the goal. That's why we call it the One Bitcoin Show. But so last night, Chase Bank, another big bank, had an issue. People logged in and they couldn't see. It looked like they had $0. Sometimes it looked like they had more than they thought they had. They weren't getting accurate readings on how much money they had in the bank. And of course, with Bitcoin, that doesn't happen. You always know how much is there. Now, here's a tweet. A major banking company has a technical error that causes countless customers to have their money gone with no transaction history and no customer service available at all. Yeah, seems fine. Okay, so their money wasn't really gone, but you can see why people would think their money was gone, because it looked like their money was gone. And so I have 3 links below about that. It's just another reminder. Why play with these banks to have that horrible heart attack feeling? You log in 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. You're getting ready to watch the BitcoinMeister on the backup channel, Beyond Bitcoin Show. You check your Chase Bank account. You're, oh my God, I have no money anymore. What happened here? Oh, it's a bad feeling. So Bitcoin, you don't get that feeling. Now, what's Alistair Milne says, bank accounts not displaying the correct balance, rumors about it being hacked. I don't think that was not true. Might just be a failed database migration update since this happened during the night from Saturday to Sunday. Yeah, it might have been that. Who knows what it was? And by the way, I saw CNN said it's over now. If you trust CNN, fine. Okay. Now, I don't think they're an authoritative source, but most likely it is over now from what I can tell. And people really did have their money. But it's horrible when you think you don't. And one day, probably one of those banks will actually get hacked, and you won't have your money. So, hey, another reason for Bitcoin. Over at, I talk about Greyscale quite often. There's a bot now on Twitter that tracks the premium. I link to it below. It also shows how much it costs to buy into the GBTC trust, which has a 12.55% premium. The Ethereum trust, which has a 342% premium, and the Ethereum Classic Trust, which has a 58.51% premium. Who buys into? Yeah, man, I want to buy some Ethereum Classic in my retirement fund. Who says that? People who don't exactly understand what they're buying, probably. And we got people again talking. I don't see super chats. I don't see BitcoinMeister in there. I don't see it, dudes. You got to get my attention. Now, we have Bcash. Bcash news. Bcash just made an all-time low versus Bitcoin, if you value your wealth in Bitcoin. Who could have predicted this, says Alistair Milne. Well, a lot of people predicted it, but you might remember back on November 11th of 2017, when Bcash jumped to be 40% of a Bitcoin. Oh, yes. Some of you probably don't know this, but there was a big pump on those 3 days in November. In mid-November in 2017, and Bcash, some people actually paid 40% of a Bitcoin for a Bcash, and now it's around 2% of a Bitcoin. And I was telling people back then, Strong hand. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. And some people didn't understand the concept of Bitcoin being the next Bitcoin. They thought Bcash was the next Bitcoin. Do you understand now? Do you understand today, guys? It got an all-time high, all-time low versus Bitcoin in terms of valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. Got to learn the hard way, some people. Hey, but that crypto dividend, if you got that Bcash for free and you sold it for 40% back then, oh, baby, you're happy. And I know some dudes who did. Now, all right. Again, you never buy something you get for free. That's one of Adam Meister's rules of cryptocurrency. You never buy something you get for free. Why buy Steam? Why buy Bcash? Why buy BSV? Why buy why buy MWC? You get it for free. And then you just, that's the crypto dividend process, baby. You got to love it. All right. Now, let's talk about art real quick. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin 21ism art collective. I thought they seemed, I just think they're new. 21ism.com. I linked to their Twitter below. They have some videos out. They're trying some artistic stuff with Bitcoin. I give them credit. Okay, they're in motion. Speaking of art, here's some gold. This was tweeted out by John Matonis. I retweeted it. Some of you have seen it since you follow me there. Henri Cartier-Bresson's photo of rush to retrieve gold from Shanghai back on the eve of the communist takeover in 1948. It's a powerful photograph. I suggest you look at it. You can see people smushed into a small area trying to get their wealth out of the bank before the communist takeover. You don't want to, in whatever country you're in, unfortunately, some of you are in countries right now that will deteriorate into very authoritative regimes, and where you will have to get your money out of the bank before they completely inflate it to nonsense. And there will be scenes like that, but scarier probably. And so look at that picture wherever you are. In South Africa, look at that picture. And that picture should get you on the Bitcoin right this second. That's a photograph that should inspire Bitcoin purchasing in the 20%er mind. It's not going to, in 80%ers minds, they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. They're not going to be scared by that. Oh, it was 1948. I like the communists. Yeah, okay. Pound that like button. Now, here's some news, more GBTC news. And I just find this so fascinating. Now, there are now 390,000 Bitcoin in the GBTC trust. I mean, they are dominating, dude. 2%, over 2% of all the Bitcoin out there is in the GBTC trust. Dude, this is going to end great for holders, okay? They keep on less supply out there. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Barry Silbert, you are in motion. You do all sorts of things. I know you love Ethereum Classic. You basically own Ethereum Classic. It's centralized around you almost. Hey, that's your business. I'm not going to hate on you, dude. You're in motion. I'm not going to try to destroy you. There are people out there that would try to destroy you because you're creating. You are doing great things for Bitcoin. Pound that like button, Barry Silbert. Now, we still we had people. Titan Boss said he saw the photo and he bought more. He immediately bought more Bitcoin. Dude, that's a good story. I hope it's great, dude. Does Adam have a standing desk? Doug. You're not a newbie here. Haven't you heard me say many times, wherever I go, I make a makeshift standing desk. I stand all day long. Sitting is unhealthy. So studies have said. And all day long, I stand, and wherever I go, I've never purchased a standing desk. Apparently, they're very, very expensive. Why purchase one when you could just make your own? I mean, right now I'm right next to. I usually set it up in the kitchen area or something like that, so I can cook. And I can and listen to Bitcoin related stuff and other stuff at the same time. I'm always multitasking. Now I'm messing up this freaking computer. By the way, this is my new laptop, everyone, as many of you know. All right, let's put this thing back down because it's really annoying now. But yes, I'm standing. I'm always freaking standing, dude. Look, I'm always in freaking motion. You see, I'm a freaking animal like that. I can jump up. You got in motion, baby. All right, a unique beast. Now move on. Yeah, you don't get the do the other dudes who make videos, do they jump around like a wild man like that? All right, I've jumped some fences in my days. Trust me. Okay, now, what else do we have? Here? We talked about the art. Okay, what's this? Debunking Goldman Sachs. You might remember a few weeks ago, Goldman Sachs had some report that was spreading FUD about. It was spreading myths about Bitcoin. Total myths about Bitcoin. Well, here is a report from ARK Invest. Okay, it debunks Bitcoin myths for institutional investment community. Some influential financial research institutions are dismissing Bitcoin based on stale information, incoherent arguments, and flawed analysis. This clears things up for them. I love that this is out there. This is targeting the institutional investment community because a lot of them read the Goldman thing. They hear about this Goldman thing. Oh, maybe I'm not interested. It seems kind of lame, this Bitcoin thing. This debunks it. Okay, so good for them. They're in motion here. These ARK.invest dudes, Yasmiel, whatever the dude's name is. Good job. You guys can read it too. I think the people watching this don't need Goldman to be debunked. But just in case you need a reminder, you need your hand a little stronger, there you go. Now, Pete Rizzo has, I feel like I'm skipping something here. Hope I'm not. Now, yes, the wasting electricity myth is the worst, JPAR, and it's one that we've heard since before I got in. Before I bought my first 2 Bitcoin in 2013, we've been hearing this electricity nonsense. So yeah, it is. If you guys still fall for that one, I don't know what to say. I mean, that's something like a BSVer says, I think, or I don't know. Maybe BSV people don't say that. It's this other altcoin flavor of the month people love that electricity thing. Proof of stake people love the electricity thing. Okay, now electricity FUD. Bitcoin. This is Pete Rizzo. Bitcoin does not care about your feelings. It will continue to penalize people who don't adopt the system by growing exponentially in value because of its economics. That's it. So yeah, if you for some reason are offended by Bitcoin and you leave and then you're sad that you left, Bitcoin doesn't care. And I can understand why you'd be sad that you left because it does keep on going back. It will keep on going up in value. Even if you hate on it, you think it's horrible, it hurt your feelings. It doesn't care about your feelings at all. Okay. Now, BiTcoinMeister has a video out there, and he talks about how he's cutting down on his Bitcoin-related writings and tweets. He'll still be around, but it's whatever. He's cutting down. It's just taking up too much. He can't maintain the pace he was. That's his business. That's good stuff. I understand. He's still going to be around. He's still going to contribute to the community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he just wanted to be honest and say that maybe you won't see as many tweets by him. And this made me think to something I have been thinking about for quite some time now, actually, because people have asked me, Adam, how can you do a new show every day? When is that going to stop? And I said, one day it will stop. I don't know when it will stop, but it will stop. I mean, and I won't go away. I just will disappear. But one day it's going to have to stop. But something that I've said over and over again is that you better believe there's going to be a new show every day until at least 210,000 blocks after the previous all-time high, which was in December. Because I want to be here to see if the 210,000 block theory is true. That if it maintains that on that day, it'll probably be in October of 2021 if the price is over $19,600 or whatever. So I definitely have to be around for that. I definitely have to be doing a show every day then. But then I have thought during my runs, when would be a good time to just, cut down after that. And the day I have picked the date, actually. It is November the 20th of 2021. That'll be the last day that I guarantee you there'll be a new show every day. After that, there might not be a new show every day. I'll still be doing shows, but I picked that date because it'll be definitely after the 210,000 block theory is proven true or false. Hopefully it'll be right after an all-time high. It's the 3-year anniversary of the death of my father, so it'll just be a good way. It's a day that already has meaning for me, and that'll be it. And maybe I will still do a new show every day, but I want to put it out there right now, since GBTC is telling people right now he's not going to be out there as much. I'm telling you way in advance, that November 20th, 2021. Probably will be the last day that I do a new show every single day. There'll still be shows and everything like that, but there's just at that point, and there's some other reasons too. I don't want to get people know I'm born late in the year. I'll just leave it at that. There's a number around there that's a nice number that has meaning that I'll be around then. So there's a lot of things that'll come together then. It'll be the perfect time to change the system a little bit like that. So, and also what I just said right now, I'm not going to repeat it for a while, and it's just a test to see who the heck is paying attention. If I ever get the question like, "Hey Adam, when are you going to stop doing this?" I'll know that they were not paying attention to the show, and the listening comprehension thing. And again, so you're not going to hear what I just said. Who knows? I might not even say it till then again. All right, that's it. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the links below, and you'll get I'll be back tomorrow. Conviction, baby. DisruptMeister.com. Check out all those shows. Bye-bye.